G'day guys, welcome back to another episode. So today we're going to be talking about what's in front of me here, what camera equipment you actually need to travel Australia. So we didn't know anything about videography, cinematography, taking photos. I believe they're called photographers. And yeah, everything here is new to us and we have learnt the hard way. We've spent a lot of unnecessary money. And once you're on the road and you've accumulated stuff, it's hard to get rid of it. And yeah, so pretty much the purpose of this video is going to let you guys know what you actually need if you want to pursue something similar to what we're doing. And we'll let you know exactly what we did wrong, what we did right, and what gear you actually need. So I'm not going to flap the gums too much more about this. I'm going to tell you a little bit about our mirrorless camera, which we shoot on predominantly. Then I'm going to Sarah's going to stop shooting on the iPhone and we're going to set up the mirrorless on a tripod and then start the video. So what you're seeing here is iPhone quality, but what we shoot all our videos on now is this Sony mirrorless camera. So we've gone with the A6300. So at the moment we're running this 16 to 50mm lens on the front. When we're vlogging and talking to the camera, we actually have this right down on 16mm, and that's pretty much the perfect sort of size lens for vlogging, we think. But we are looking at getting another lens with a lower f-stop. So that's our next purchase. Anyway, we'll get into that later. But pretty much this camera does everything from taking good photos to taking good videos. It's a nice all-rounder, shoots 1080p, and you can go up to 4K in some instances where you have the right memory card, etc. But for us, we don't process videos in 4K because they're just simply too big for our computers. So we shoot everything in 1080p and normally run it on 120 frames per second. That way we can slow down things and speed up things wherever we want. We don't have a shot that's in 24 frames and we can't slow it down. So we're just covering all our bases there, guys. This camera, we know nothing about cameras too. Don't think we're camera nerds and we think we know it all, because we know absolutely nothing. So pretty much this camera is our all-rounder. We get all our photos on here and all our videos. So we use this every bloody day. Moving on to the top of it. So we are running the Rode Videomic Pro. This isn't a cheap microphone. This cost us around $300 with the dead cat attachment. And this is what we use for vlogging. So you might think that maybe the mic's gonna, foul on the lens or anything like that, but it definitely doesn't. If you're wearing a hat, the only thing about the mic is you can't put your on the lens thing.
But pushes it down into
that's the only fouling issue we have with this. But apart from that, it's a great mic. It's an entry-level mic. It picks up a lot of sound. On the back, it does have decibel readings, so you can filter change. So pretty much you let in all high frequency filters, and then you have your -10 or +20 decibels, depending. If you are shooting at like a music festival, you'll have that right down at -10, so it doesn't max out the sound input inside the camera and make it all crackly. And normally we shoot on 0 decibels because I yell pretty much all the time and Sarah's nice and quiet, so that's a nice healthy balance for us. But if I was predominantly filming Sarah talking, I would run that on +20 because she has a softer voice. But pretty much this microphone is a really good entry-level mic, costs around $100, and I honestly think this is the most valuable thing that we have in this whole camera itinerary here. So we were running this cheap Boya mic. This one I think was about $50 and we got it online at eBay. But the thing is with this one, it is a shotgun mic like the Videomic Pro. However, the Videomic Pro actually has an internal battery built into it. This one is purely run off the camera, and yeah, it's a good mic, don't get me wrong, but as soon as the wind kicks up above 5 knots, it starts getting really crackly and the sound cuts out. So if we had our time again, we wouldn't have spent the $50 on this. We would have just spent it straight on this better mic. And I think if you guys are out there wanting to do a similar thing to us, definitely invest heavily into your microphone because people get really upset about the audio. So now that you guys have seen our mirrorless camera, we're going to set this up on our tripod, which is we've just only invested in this. This is a Jobby tripod. It's chalk and cheese to our old one. We actually bought our old one was for $30 off Marketplace and the gid rattled it to pieces. So we needed to get a new one. And this one is a little bit more expensive. I think it's around the $200 range. It has telescopic legs, has this nice shotgun grip on it, and you can undo this little lever here and it loosens it all up. So when Sarah's shooting surfing films, she can freely move the tripod. And then it also goes sideways. Wait a sec.
2 hours later.
How does this work? Like that, sideways. So you can shoot sideways. You can tell I don't really use this that much. Like I said, we're not bloody experts. So I'm going to set this up with the mirrorless and we're going to put the iPhone down. So we've just swapped over to the A6300 Sony, and we're using the Videomic Pro for audio. So you might have noticed a little bit of a better grade quality in the video, and also the audio must have got better as well. So
surely.
So pretty much we'll start off with the things that we use a lot of the time, and then we'll make our way into the stuff that we sort of spent money on or got given for free that we don't really use at all. So firstly, this big grey bazooka looking thing. This is actually a lens. So this is a 70 to 200mm lens. It is a really good lens. So this one here is actually, and this will probably make your eyes water, but $2,000 this is worth.
Did we pay $2,000?
No. So we got given this, well, pretty much given this by my best mate, Tom Hoy. So he is an actual photographer and a videographer. So if you guys want to look at some of his stuff, he is on Instagram.
Amazing.
Go follow Tom Hoy. He's an absolute legend bloke. And yeah, if you're looking to deck out your house with nice artwork and prints, he does some epic prints. This lens here is a 70 to 200mm lens, an f-stop at 4. So we're not 100% sure what all these little buttons and stuff do. We just set and forget. That's sort of the quality of videographers we are.
We've literally just left it on what Tom had it set on.
Yeah, and we use this for surfing stuff. We take videos of animals, anything far away. This is your go-to lens.
And it takes really, really nice photos.
Yeah.
Too.
So we only run 2 lenses because we're sort of covering all our bases with these lenses. So the 16 to 50mm that you guys are watching this on right now, so that can zoom right into 50mm, and then this one goes from 70 to 200mm. So pretty much we've got all the bases covered pretty much apart from 50 to 70mm.
That's for zoom anyway.
Yeah. Would I suggest you guys spending $2,000 on a lens if you're just starting out? Definitely not. The only reason we have this lens is because we know people. And we definitely wouldn't have spent $2,000 on it otherwise, I think. Personally.
But if you go on Marketplace and you can find, like we've been looking on Marketplace trying to find a different lens, and there's heaps of cheaper ones on there.
Yeah.
So, and normally if someone's got something set at a certain price, they're willing to
negotiate most of the time. So don't feel like you've got to go to Camera House and go lash out a heap of money. Be savvy, guys. Get your stuff cheap, and a lot of the times it is looked after, and it's pretty much just like new. So that's probably our next mostly used thing, and then after that would definitely be the drone. We use this every episode.
So this is the DJI Mavic Mini 2. So the reason we went with the 2 was we were actually going to go with the 1, but our friend Miss Lisa, she had this on hold for one of her friends, and she knew the manager at JB Hi-Fi. Again, people you know. So she was able to get the Fly More combo for us, which is the combo that comes with your bag,
carry
controller, extra batteries, extra parts, everything you need. And we got that for $810.
Which is super cheap compared to your Mavic
when
Pros.
It first came out.
Yeah. So Mavic, the big drones that you see buzzing around that almost look like mini helicopters, they're actually worth about $2,500, some of them. So in comparison, the Mini probably doesn't do as many things, which we'll go into in a different video. The next video we'll put out after this is a review video on the Mini. Yeah. But we love it for what we do. So
it's perfect for what we need, and we also don't need any licenses to drive it, because it is to drive it. We don't need any licenses to fly it.
I hope you're not driving it.
Because it's under 250 grams. So this one actually weighs 249 grams. So you do not need a license to fly it. Whereas all of the other drones that you see, people are meant to have licenses.
Yeah, meant to have. Yeah, for sure. So this is almost like a toy version of what everyone else is flying. But it still takes very good quality photos and very good quality videos. So yeah, definitely don't feel like you need to buy the biggest and best drone on the market, because you definitely don't need to. But if you want to, they're definitely worth it, I think, the big drones. But don't feel like you have to. So the next thing that we'll probably speak about is this big elephant in the room.
Not the GoPro.
And this actually, I'll speak about this, but this is something that is definitely not needed if you guys are starting to do similar things to what we're doing. If you want to travel Australia and document it all, definitely don't go out and buy one of these massive powered gimbals. So the idea of this is you sit the camera on the glide and it'll stabilize if you're running with the camera and stuff. Pretty much sort of your intermediate to advanced level videographers would use this a lot. Things for like adverts, all that stuff, people would be using these, but definitely don't need it. So the only reason we have this is when I was doing the Ronnie Dahl modified episode on Percy the Prado, went out into the bush, and Ronnie's filmer at the moment is actually Chris Woods. he actually runs all the 4-wheel drive adventure shows, and he has some very flash gear. He is an actual pro, and he had this lying around. He said, do you want to use it? And I said, yeah, we'll have a shot, because I had no idea about this sort of stuff.
At the time, we had that.
Yeah, and we'll get into this in a second, but pretty much this is the same as this, but for an iPhone. So we'll get into this in a second, but this is a very expensive piece of kit, and one we got for free. And would we go out and buy one of these? Hell no, because we've used it once. So
Yeah.
definitely don't feel like you need an electric gimbal. I'll put this over here so it doesn't smash my teeth out. So the next thing will be Sarah talking about her Christmas present, which is one of these.
So I actually got this like 2 years ago, and Keelan bought it for me thinking that we would use it heaps on the trip. And in his defense, we did use it a lot at the start of the trip. But then I sort of realised that the new iPhones, their stabilisation is really good. So
Yeah.
rather than like whipping this out and putting my iPhone, oh my god, just malfunctioned. Rather than getting this out and putting the iPhone on this, I just ended up using the iPhone by itself. But it can do some really cool stuff. So once you turn it on and put your iPhone in it, you connect it to an app, and you can select in the app all certain features like panorama photo, and it will just quickly do it for you.
Or
and it will be
program,
like,
program movement. So you just
Yeah.
select one of them and it'll do it. So say you wanted it to pan over like an hour space, or you wanted it to follow you and track you when you're running past, you can actually do that.
And you can do cool things like make it spin, like all these really weird cool things.
Not that we'd ever use that, but it has some
Yeah.
good features.
And you can use the knob on here to...
That doesn't sound good. Use the knob on here.
You can control it with this little button on the front.
That's better.
And yeah, it's really cool, but we haven't really used it lately. We probably should start using it again.
The only reason we have stopped using it is because obviously we film on the mirrorless
Yeah.
camera, and there's no mirrorless attachment for this gimbal. But saying that, it is $200. It's very affordable, and if you were looking at trying to get into sort of what we do in a way, film your trip
Yeah.
or anything, your
You could
family
start off with
holiday,
that.
definitely start off with this one. And if you really like this one, maybe buy a mirrorless camera and get that one, but I'm not going to recommend it at all. So
But if you're just starting out on YouTube, and really if you're not like 100% sure whether it's for you, you could easily start with this and the new iPhones, like the 13, you can shoot,
Yeah.
I don't know, 14K and stuff.
yeah,
So you could start out with this, see whether YouTube's for you, and then if it is for you, then you can upgrade your gear. 'Cause
Yeah.
imagine if you go out and buy all of this flash gear and then you're like, oh, I don't really like this.
and the way technology is going, iPhones are getting really bloody good, and the stabilization and the video quality, zoom, you can film in 4K.
And you can attach microphones to them.
Yeah, so some people out there are actually making very professional films with iPhones, and it's mind-boggling how they're doing it.
Oh my god, I've seen some of the footage from the new iPhone 13 and it's insane. Like,
Yeah.
that thing can actually do really cool shots.
So give it 2 years. This video that you're watching right now might be redundant. We might all be filming everything on iPhones and buggering off the mirrorless camera. But for now, we definitely swear by the thing that you guys are looking through right now. So the next bit of equipment we'll talk about is one that we use all the time, but it's a very polarizing topic. GoPros. So any travel vlogger we know of, all have a GoPro in their arsenal. And let me tell you, a lot of people don't like GoPros because they malfunction, they're not 100% efficient, and pretty much we've had a few bad experiences with GoPros. So before you say, we do format all our cards before we use the GoPro, we do everything right by the book, and we still have stuff up. So
it has only happened like twice.
a few times. But pretty much the story that I'll give you, we filmed Karajini, we filmed a whole episode on this baby. So we were in the gorges, we couldn't bring the mirrorless. We were doing some swimming through these, like, it was a sick
Lots of
episode.
backflips.
I won't go too much into it, but it was epic footage, stuff that you remember for a lifetime. Had it on the SD card, took it out, went to plug it into the computer, nothing there. We filmed probably 5 hours of footage, gone, all just vanished. We went to a tech specialist to get it recovered. He said it will cost you $300, and we just said we just can't afford that. So it just went, and ever since then I've lost a lot of faith in this thing. So every time we do film on it, we always go straight home, plug it straight in the first thing you do, and you get the footage off it, because you just never know.
And then reformat it again.
And that's happened a lot because we talk to people and it's such a common thing. Everyone's having a hard time at the moment, and everyone's doing the right thing, formatting it.
However, the footage that it gets is awesome. Like, this tiny little camera can shoot like the most amazing quality, and time lapses, the night time lapses that we do, that's from that. It's like really, really good quality, but it's really good quality, but its reliability is not
the best.
So good.
But this is the GoPro 9 black version, so it does your 4K. It probably shoots even higher. You can literally go like this with the camera and the footage will come out dead smooth. The stabilization in it is amazing. Comes with a rear screen. We have a few attachments, so when I'm surfing I put this little mouth mount in my mouth like this. I had the GoPro like that or like that, and I film the way, and I'll put a video in right now. And we also have this cheap eBay little stick, so don't feel like you have to buy genuine products from GoPro, because a lot of the time you can get the same thing off eBay that's going to last, and a lot of people say it breaks, but we trash our gear.
We've had this for like 2 years.
Yeah, and we throw it in salt water, never clean it, blah blah blah. So the next thing that maybe Sarah will talk about is one of these.
This is the Polar Pro Dome, and we actually got it from Dick Smith. So through Polar Pro, I think it's an American company, it was actually more expensive, so we went on Dick Smith and got it a bit cheaper. But pretty much it comes with this rubber cover to keep it protected. When you put it half under the water, the top half will be
of landscape above the water.
Yeah, and then the bottom half will be under the water.
That's how we get them cool half and half shots that you guys see in some of our videos.
However, it needs to be very, very, very clean for it to be like a really good quality shot. So before you use it, make sure you wipe it down the front and on the inside. And then if you want to get your shots, make sure you get them before you fully submerge it, because once you fully submerge it under the water, then you'll have all the drops of water dripping down the front.
Yeah.
But it's really cool.
Yeah, it is really cool, and they're sort of simulating what you'd get out of a camera with a housing that might cost you a setup like that, like 15 grand.
Yeah,
so
can't afford that.
For 115 bucks, that thing is great, and the GoPro just goes straight inside it, and boom, you're getting some really nice. A lot of people sort of want to start this experience sort of filming and editing and uploading their videos, but have no idea how much work is involved. From me and Sarah, we say go for it. A lot of content creators on YouTube will actually say don't, because they don't want to compete with you, but we are the opposite. We are like more the merrier. Get out there and go for it, guys. You don't need
room for everybody. Yeah.
You don't need an expensive setup to do what we do, and the next point will prove that to you. So all the editing that we do at Sarah Keelan Travels is actually done on this 2011 MacBook Pro. I've had this since I was year 11, and this thing is bulletproof. So it's not the fastest computer, and it's not necessarily the most expensive. Let me just quickly log in here. Don't look at my password.
I love Sarah 123.
So this is the software we use to edit all of our videos. Well, I do. So to give you guys a rough estimate on a time of a video, it might take me sort of 6 or 7 hours to edit a video, and that's not without Sarah spell checking all of my spelling, because I always get spelling wrong.
He's been trying to like get some past me lately. He just like edits them and then puts them up on YouTube, and then everyone's like, you spelled that wrong. And I'm like, Keelan.
Anyway, let's not get into my spelling. I did pass year 12, so that's enough of that. So pretty much I use iMovie for all the YouTube editing, so what you're viewing right now is edited on iMovie.
And iMovie is free.
And yeah, iMovie is free, and that makes people's eyes water. When we talk to any people that are doing YouTube or making videos, cinematographers, doesn't matter if they've got 10 subscribers to 100,000 subscribers, they all say to me, what, you use iMovie? And yeah, we do. So they're all using $500 subscriptions a year to use Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, but at the moment we are using the iMovie that is coming on all MacBook Pros. You can get this with any MacBook Pro or
any
Apple.
MacBook, any iPhone.
Apple, yeah,
Apple.
So don't think that you need the most expensive product, and that's what we come back to again, guys. Get out there, have a crack. You don't need the best gear. You don't need all these crazy subscriptions. You don't need the best gear. Yeah, just go out there, have a red hot crack, and do whatever you want to do. Have fun with it, and create content if that's what you guys want to do. So just to summarize, guys, I think that does conclude everything. I'll just quickly add up all the price of our camera gear, including computers, everything else, and I'll put a quick total on the screen for you, just to give you a rough idea on how much money we've spent on camera gear. But there obviously is a lot of stuff that we would go without if we had our time again, which I hope you guys will learn from this video. You'll realize what you do and don't need, and we've made the hard mistake for you, and you don't have to waste your money. So to summarize, guys, if you're going to do this, invest heavily in your audio. Don't need the best drone. You certainly don't need the best camera. You don't need the best gimbal. Just have fun. That's what it's all about. We had no idea what we're doing 6 months ago, and we still have no idea what we're doing now. So we just make it up on the fly, and we're just so lucky to have a great audience like you guys. So if you did enjoy this video, guys, please don't be shy to subscribe. It does go a long way for the channel. And if you're new here, I'm Keelan, this is Sarah, and we're going around Australia and filming our adventure along the way. So thanks heaps, guys. The next video we'll put out this week is actually on the DJI Mini 2, and we're doing a full in-depth review on this one, guys. We'll show you everything it does and doesn't do, and we'll tell you if we would buy something better next time. So until then, we'll see you next time. Cheers.